Hello children. Today we are going to read about chapter 10 Walls Tell Stories and module 1 it is about Golconda Fort. In this module we are going to learn about Golconda Fort, the doors of Golconda Fort, the bastions and burj, deep ditches, cannons and acoustic effects. By learning this module, the students will be able to know about the terms like bastions, deep ditches, cannons. They will be able to understand the importance of bastions and ditches, give examples of cannons in the Golconda Fort, and they will be able to give reason why doors have iron spokes. The massive structure of Golconda Fort. Golconda Fort is situated at a place called Golconda, which is 11 km away from Hyderabad. The rulers of Qutub Shahi dynasty made the city their capital. Their ruling period was from 1518 to 1687. Golconda Fort was built by the rulers of Kakatiya dynasty in the 13th century. Considered one of India's most outstanding citadels, the Golconda Fort epitomizes the sumptuous Nawabi culture of the time. Shepherd's Hill, or Golconda as it was popularly known in Telugu, has an interesting story behind it. The Golconda Fort was built in 1518 by Sultan Quli Qutub ul Mulk. It was further strengthened by subsequent Qutub Shahi kings. Sultan Quli Qutub ul Mulk began construction of the Golconda Fort a few years after he was appointed the governor of Telangana by the Bahmani Sultans. You can see the picture of Sultan Quli Qutub ul Mulk. The darwaja or the doors or gates of any fort or palace have played an important role in its history. Besides being functional, they add character and mystique to the appearance of the structure they are a part of, sometimes with its own unique architecture. They seem to entice the visitor to enter through them and find a new experience or sight within. Golconda Fort is a grand structure built on a hill of altitude 400 feet with a circumference of 7 km, displaying the beautiful fusion of Hindu-Islamic style of architecture. Its wall comprises of 8 gates and 87 bastions, each one reaching the height of 50 to 60 feet. Golconda Fort has 8 gates, out of which the main gate is Fateh Darwaza or the Victory Gate. This gate was built to commemorate the victorious march of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. The gate has steel spikes to protect it from elephants. The length of the gate is 25 feet and width is 13 feet. You can see the iron spikes on the door, and this is the main entrance of Fateh Darwaza of Golconda Fort. There are 8 important gates at the Golconda Fort: Bala Hisar Darwaza, Fateh Darwaza, Banjara Darwaza, Moti Darwaza, Patancheru Darwaza, Mecca Darwaza, Yali Darwaza, etc. Through these gates, an elephant with its mahout would easily pass. The doors are made of teak wood. The entrance doors of the gateways have large iron studs and iron spikes in order to prevent elephants from damaging the fort, relevant at the time they were built. The gates are tall and colossal. Bastions. Bastion is a part of the wall of a castle which sticks out and from which attacks can be made in all directions. Bastions are made in such a manner that soldiers can peep through its holes safely and can have a better vantage point is not possible in case of a straight flat wall. Bastions were made in the fort wall to see at a distance and attack on enemies coming towards the fort from several directions. These rounded and high walls are also called defensive walls. Big holes were made in them to watch and shoot at enemies from a distance, keeping the soldiers safe. There are 87 bastions in Golconda Fort. These are the bastions of the Golconda Fort. You can see the defensive wall. Deep ditches of Golconda Fort. A deep ditch is dug along the wall of the fort to prevent the attackers to reach the top of the walls by using ladders. It was difficult for the Aurangzeb's army to attack the fort because of the strong thick walls along which there was long deep ditch. What is the working of these deep ditches? Soldiers used to put fire during the wartime so that the enemy soldiers could not enter the fort, and if they tried to enter, then they used to fall in the fire and the other soldiers did not even try afterwards. So basically these deep ditches are dug along the thick wall of the fort to keep the enemy away. Cannons. A cannon is a type of a gun classified as artillery that launches a projectile using propellant. In the past, gunpowder was the primary propellant before the invention of smokeless powder during the late 19th century. These are some of the cannons which kept in Golconda Fort. Fateh Rahbar Cannon, Kila Kusha Cannon, Ajdaha Parker Cannon. Acoustic effects. Golconda Fort, built under the Qutub Shahi rulers between 1518 and 1680, is an acoustic marvel in Hyderabad in central India. It is an example of architectural genius and was built with an excellent understanding of the compression and amplification of sound. The system of acoustics in the fort is something which attracts each and every visitor. The sound of clapping at the entrance can be heard at the Bala Hisar, which is the highest point and almost a kilometer away. It means one hand clap at any certain point below the dome can be heard at the highest point of the Golconda Fort. It was usable when anyone attacks on Golconda Fort. This system was apparently used for communication purposes. Let us look at the quick summary of the chapter. Golconda Fort is situated at a place called Golconda, which is 11 km away from Hyderabad. The Golconda Fort was built in 1518 by Sultan Quli Qutub ul Mulk. Golconda Fort has 8 gates, out of which the main gate is Fateh Darwaza or the Victory Gate. This gate was built to commemorate the victorious march of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Bastions were made in the fort wall to see at a distance and attack on enemies coming towards the fort from several directions. There are 87 bastions in Golconda Fort. A deep ditch is dug along the wall of the fort to prevent the attackers to reach the top of the walls by using ladders. A cannon is a type of gun classified as artillery that launches a projectile using propellant. Acoustic effects means one hand clap at any certain point below the dome can be heard at the highest point of the Golconda Fort. It was usable when anyone attacks on Golconda Fort. I hope now you have understood the role of the cannons, acoustic effects, deep ditches, bastions, and the gate with iron studs. for the protection of the Golconda fort. Thanks for learning. Have a good